Alright, so that's my mom and my grandma's grave. We got it done with marble, so we gotta put some fresh flowers in. Alright, mommy.
They hold it down.
So yeah, that's my grandma. That's my mom. So young.
Make sure we get this out.
Sad seeing all these graves. You know, they ain't, I don't know why. Not very much. They're just plain. They didn't spend any money on it. You know, some families, they don't have the money to do it. And then the hurricanes, stuff mess it all up. That's why you gotta make money, man. You could do nice things for your family. Give them a grave they deserve, you know? All right, we at the Airbnb.
We already got the basketball in the back.
Already, they not playing.
Did you realize that this dips?
Oh my gosh, I was about to go off-road.
I said, he didn't realize it dips.
Nah, this is fire. Got the pool, got the outdoor kitchen, pool table. Oh, they got basketballs, nice basketballs here.
What's this,
Fire pit. Bro, this is what we got this thing for, though. That's hard. That's hard. This is the vacation. It starts, okay? We missed our flight, all right?
We missed it and canceled it.
Well, we didn't miss it. I'm sorry. They canceled it because of bad weather. We couldn't find, well, we had 2 rental cars canceled on us last minute. Thank God Ray found something. He found 2 Priuses. Then when we get there, they upgrade us, charge us an extra $70 and give us worse cars. But anyways, we're here and we're ready to take our flight tomorrow morning, early, staying at a hotel near the airport. We had to drive to Miami so that we can get a flight to Puerto Rico, because if not, we'd have to wait till Wednesday. My sister said that the Wednesday flight was a 19-hour flight. All right, y'all, starting the vacation off. It's finally official. Look how big this is. You rent a boat. The boats, I think for 6 people, I think it's $500, and then for 8 it's $650. Look how clear it is. So fire.
Le gusta hacer eso. Mira, lo estamos regañando.
So cute.
Oh my God. So, like this is, catch them?
Yeah, she uses
How do
this
you
to catch
how-
them.
Yeah, I did.
You want more? Alright, yeah, so this is the house that we're going to fix up. This is where my mother was raised. This was my grandmother's house. My grandmother's house, my grandfather's house. You guys can see, man, it needs a lot of work. They're saying that it might have to be a tear down. Like we might have to tear it down.
Things the chickens that are sick.
This backyard ain't gonna get no pool, babe.
Yeah, baby, you definitely could put a small pool
You
here.
put a small basketball hoop.
I've seen them all over the internet.
If this is gonna be a generational home, we need a basketball hoop.
That. This used to be the mango tree. There's that.
So he thinks it'll be like 60 grand for a brand new house. 50,000 tear this down, rebuild, which is definitely an option, because what he was telling me is a friend over there, they raised their house up. They tore it down and they raised the house up because a hurricane hits here. It's right on the coast. It's a fishing town. Like, it comes up to your waist. So he was saying that that he raised his house over there and had no issues with the hurricane. So if we're gonna spend the money, might as well, what he was saying is tear it down, bring the foundation back up, right? But what I want to do is I want to keep the character of the house. I want it to look like like the same house, but lift it up, obviously modernized, have some AC, like how he did with his house. He's got AC and stuff. He's got his house looking real nice. So same thing as that, but this look and raised higher. Bro, this is like the original mailbox. Kachi, when you think this house was built? Originally, huh? 60s, 70s?
Yeah.
Right? This
It's
was
like 58, I think 60s.
60s. This was grandma's house?
This was our great-grandma.
Great grandma's house. And then grandma lived here with
Yes.
Abuelito.
Uh-huh.
And then my mom.
So before they made the house, it was like one of those grass homes.
Like a hut?
Like a hut. And mommy used to have to wake up and mop the floor because it was mud.
Yeah.
And the way they mopped it, the mud would harden and it would harden to a floor.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Humble beginnings. Shout out, mom.
Yeah.
All right, so this door we're going to keep. This is the original door here. We're gonna have somebody, refinish it. It's fucked up. Don't get me wrong. But we'll spend the money to get it redone. That as well. The glass gotta get restored too.
Yes, that has to get restored.
Check this out, y'all. I used to sleep here.
Okay.
That's why we put one of those.
We'll get out of the way because of
Oh,
construction. We got our contractor here.
Into my mom's grave, my grandmother's grave. They're buried together. Look at this. This says grandma. Hey, abuelita.
This bed is original?
Probably that one. That was your great grandmother's stuff. Rest in peace. Rest in peace. This is my aunt. Really my cousin, but my aunt Keisha. Because she was a lot older than us. That couch used to have plastic over it.
Your grandma's clothes still hanging there.
No. Oh my God. My grandma's clothes still hanging here. Damn, man. Damn, abuelita. That's my grandma. That's my great grandfather. This was the kitchen. Oh yeah, see the floor's sinking. This was the shower, the bathroom here. Yeah, all this is sinking. This was the shower. I remember never had hot water, I should say. And then another room. I mean, we can do some damage in here. So 1 bedroom. Can make that 2 bedrooms.
This was the kitchen?
Bathroom.
Yeah, this was the
Gonna need an
kitchen.
extra bathroom.
She had the fridge over here. It didn't make sense. But let her be. Go put it in the back. So
Living
this
area.
is what I was talking about, that they made this one into a closet when this should have been like another bathroom.
2. All right, so this is the other house that my grandma had. We're not inheriting this one. Even though it's the nicer, newer one, I never spent any time in here. So it doesn't have that sentimental value. But it doesn't need as much work.
Whose house was this? Both of them your great grandma's house?
Yeah. Damn, why is that locked? One of them keys.
So, but no, I think it's like a ventillo. Like the ventillo. And apple over down here.
Bathroom.
Do a shoulder thing real quick. I bet you popped up.
Might break up.
Look, skylight, guys.
That's what I told you.
Custom.
Oh.
Oh, yeah.
Damn,
This is a big room. This one don't need as much work. We can fix this one up quick. All right, time to go home. So unfortunately, my trip got cut in half, pretty much. Between missing the first day, and now I gotta leave early to go to Italy for business. So originally it was a 7-day trip, ended up being 3 days. But I had a blast. We'll make up for it. All right, y'all, that's it. Trip is over. Had to cut it short. So originally we had planned to be there 7 days. I had to leave like a couple days early because I have to go to Italy for a business trip, for some business, which sucks, but you gotta do what you gotta do. And people are like, oh, you're going to Italy. That's not how it works. I'm gonna fly in. That's gonna be 12, 13 hours between layovers. I'm gonna arrive, literally do business for a day and a half, get back on my flight for for another 13 hours. So I'm gonna fly just as long as I'm gonna be in Italy. I'm gonna have no time to look at anything out there. So it's gonna be like I'm in a building like this the whole time, right? It ain't all that. I'd rather be in Puerto Rico for the, you know, enjoying the rest of my trip. Nonetheless though, man, I had a great time. Only got to spend 3 days there, but my wife and my kids and my sister, husband, niece and nephew, they're still in Puerto Rico. They're gonna enjoy the next couple days there, and then I'll meet them back home this week. Anyway, so I say that to say I gotta make up for these lost days. You know what I mean? So if y'all see me on another trip, it's because I didn't really get to have the full thing. All right, but I'm grateful. God is good. I'm grateful. You know, we got to create some memories in the few days we were here. You know, the trip was amazing. One of the highlights of the trip was going to Lajas, going to you know, that sandbar, renting a boat. You know, obviously you had the guy driving the boat, taking us back and forth. And he was awesome. Great customer service. I highly recommend you guys go check them out. Oh, his story was amazing. Hearing his story, how Hurricane Maria changed his life. You know, he thought it was tragic. It was going to change his life for the worse, but it actually gave him the kick in the butt to do something he dreamed of doing. And he pioneered that excursion. Nobody was taking, you know, boats out to that sandbar and making it a day thing. So he pioneered that, and he's got 7 boats now. Went from living in a small house in Lajas to he started out with a really small boat, he said. Started chartering that thing, and then I wouldn't call it chartering, but started renting that thing out, and little by little grew it to 7 boats. Now, you know, he pays for his 2 daughters to go to university in the States to study medicine, and I forget what the other one was studying. It's just cool, man. It's cool to hear these stories, man. And once you meet an entrepreneur, you guys, you know, will speak a lot of the same language, right? The trials, tribulations. Like, you just have instant respect for one another because you know what it took to get there. That was dope, man. That was cool. And I'm gonna make another video on my other channel, just talking about, you know, coming up, like the reality of it, how to do it the right way. Ignore the noise. You know what I mean? There's one real way to do it. Some people get lucky, but I wouldn't take that route. We're about to start boarding in a bit. Going to see family members, people that my mother grew up with, you know, that knows my grandmother. You know, they always tell us stories, and it's sad, you know, sometimes hearing some of the stories. You know, I wish I would have been more present. You know, you're a kid, you're not gonna be present like that, but I wish I would have been just to see it all, you know. But anyways, I got to go see the house that I inherited. Shout out to my uncle, man. So that was my great-grandmother's house. Then it was my grandmother's house where my mother was raised. And I used to spend summers there. We would go back all the time and spend months there. You know what I mean? Like, we'd spend a whole month there. We missed the first 2 weeks of school. My mother didn't care. And I don't know, my uncle told me, you know, the Bad Bunny album, shout out to Bad Bunny. You know, I know he's a huge artist, but the album he did, I think it touched a lot of people. I think it's changing a lot of lives. It's inspiring a lot of people, and like, it inspired my uncle, because we owned half of it through my mother. You know, she passed away, and then we got the other half. That's the way my grandmother wanted it. But then my uncle was like, man, I want to give the other half to you because I know you guys are going to do something with it. You're going to take care of it. You're going to keep it in the family. And I promised him, you know, we're going to fix the house up. We're going to make it a pillar in our family tree, because it's been going for generations. I don't want it lost because of me. I don't want to be responsible for losing out on a family hub, a family pillar, a tradition. You know, my sister telling me how that piece of land, before it was a house, it was a damn hut. Like, the floor was mud. I guess my grandfather turned it into a house, and that's the house. That's still the house, the same house from, I think, the 60s. But yeah, man, overall, I know it was only a 3-day trip, but just to kind of tell you guys where my head is at. Maybe my kids will watch this one day and know why we would take these trips and what was going through, you know, daddy's head. And one day they'll inherit the house and they'll have to pay for their kids. But I hope I get to see my grandchildren in there, you know. Maybe my great-grandchildren, we'll see. I love this island. I love Puerto Rico. I feel terrible now that I lost my Spanish, you know. As a young man, my Spanish was a lot better than it is now. But you go so long, you know, once my grandmother passed, she only spoke to us in Spanish. My father spoke to me in Spanish. My mother spoke to me in Spanish. But as soon as high school was done, I wasn't really speaking it anymore. Didn't really need to, but I wish I would have. My Spanish is not very good looking. Tengo que trabajar duro para mejorar mi español porque eso está matado. But I can still get by. So we'll see if I spend summers here. If I spend enough summers here, and if I come often enough and I only speak Spanish, I should get better. But my kids gotta get better at it too, so we'll see. But I think that's it. Great trip. And now we off to Italy, get some work done. See you on the next video.